Do you notice most of these podcasts go with, do you know what I mean? Or does that make sense? Or usually the
What do you mean? You said something kind of interesting though before, like, you've been talking about like Eric Freen or, the way that you're cautious around talking to people or wondering like, how do I approach this person or this or that? Or, it's a little weird because, and not to sound a little bit even more philosophical, but, you see these tragedies. And the Eric Freen thing to me is just it's a tragedy, like in and of itself. But there's a couple of tragedies to this, and not just the fact of the action that happened, but the actions that led before that into the action that happened. It's the same thing when you're saying, is this guy going to stab me in the back? Is this guy going to, who's going to rob the Quickie Mart? And it's almost like the Trading Places movie,
right?
With Eddie Murphy. And you gotta think about this, and like with people in general, it's great that there's gentlemen like these over here as life coaches.
And business coaches. But
it all goes together, and you have to understand that, like, listen, these men or these women that have come into this realm of where their mind is so gone, these men and women were once children.
Right.
And they were once young kids or whatever. And what went wrong? What absolutely went wrong to the point that this tragedy has to happen, and it's
or
cool.
what was the
what were the actions and what was the catalyst? What is the catalyst, and what is still making adults like feel like this? Or it's almost like the same thing of like New Year's Eve is the biggest time for suicides. Why? Because everybody feels lonely. They feel disconnected. They feel like something has just gone so tragically wrong in their lives that they can't be saved from it. Which is great. Like I said, that like people like Rich are here because it gets you into your head to make you start and wonder, like, what are the underlying factors that don't make you happy or have made you feel discombobulated or uncomfortable or like an underachiever or things of that nature. Dalai Lama like still has one of the greatest sayings ever in this world, an eye for an eye and the whole world goes blind.
Right.
And it's almost like the whole thing, like, is saying, a guy's a murderer, so now we're going to kill him. Like where's the right and the wrong aspects when what leads to
what's the morally, it's I really don't know how to address that.
Well, I mean, like morals,
like in a way that like we're not in a bathroom in LA at 4 a.m.
No, like listen, like, I'm a firm believer in obviously positive reinforcement because positive means
positive.
Yeah. Better outcome. Sometimes what was the movie? It was The Fifth Element. And I love this movie because the guy loved chaos. So he basically said, if it wasn't for chaos, if me smashing a glass on the ground, there wouldn't be all these little things that would come around and sweep it up and give it a job and a purpose and stuff like that, which again leads back to the whole balance between good and evil and everything, which I do believe in. But it's in this day and age, and especially in the northeastern Pennsylvania region, which has been labeled one of the most unhappiest places in the entire country.
Who's labeling it?
Quite a few people.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate.
Who's repeating vitriol from someone who threw a dart at the wall and picked Scranton?
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Scranton has seen its troubled times and it's seen its wonderful times too. Everything goes through cycle as it is, but it's all it takes is just one person to turn anything around and make a difference. And maybe this is that person sitting next to me right now, or the gentleman next to him. Or you in your crazy ball and cake, for that matter, but like, that's like, I don't get to have a discussion like this really ever on a personal or philosophical level. So I will take it a step further with Rich saying like, I'm grateful that I even get to do this evening. And I get to do it because you created the room that we get to sit in and do it with.
Yeah, but he started the... Sorry, Lauren.
But he
started the website.
See, he's redirecting it.
But there again,
you're passing it off.
Yeah, you don't get it. I'm not. He started the website. You built the house.
It's a lot of gears.
He's throwing the party. You have the house.
Mark.
Let them eat cake.
Mark. Can you and I have a conversation real quick?
Yeah, this is what this shine the light on me.
So you and I met a couple weeks ago at Cory's. For those that don't know, Cory is Marty's son.
Who's
brilliant. We're pointing at Marty and
Cory was a guest on one of our earlier podcast.
Brilliant young man,
sir. You really know
he is, and handsome too.
Yeah,
looks like his mother.
So you and I met. Now we're becoming friends, right? I mean, we're hanging out,
sushi,
chatting them up. Yeah, we'll definitely go off for sushi. Can you and I continue a game? Can we start a game tonight? And then you and I are going to continue a game for, say, the next few days. And then if you
frightens the hell
and then
out of me.
And then if we have so much fun with it, we're going to continue the game for maybe a week or two.
Where I'm calling you, I'm going, Rich, I don't know what.
And then because I believe
the heaving tears.
What are you getting yourself into?
This is going to be such a great game. And we might even bring you in, and we're going to get some tickets at the end of the game and the different levels that we go through, right? Because you like to incorporate video games.
Okay. Nice.
Nothing.
How about tonight, after this podcast is over, I want you to go home and take a simple piece of paper. Okay? I want you to write down 5, maybe 10 if you're feeling saucy. 5 or 10.
I'm feeling frisky.
If you're feeling frisky.
Okay.
Things that you're grateful for. Things that you've done a great job at. And if you were listening to John,
but no, wait,
one already.
Could it be people's, places, and things, or is it accomplishments?
Yes.
Awesome.
Would you like hot or mild sauce?
That's
right.
Yes.
Sure. It could be anything.
Yes. But it needs to something that you're grateful for that's had a profound influence on your life. And it should be
something like I'm grateful for air.
Right. It should be something that you helped create.
A little bit more personal.
You need to take a little responsibility for this.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not like I'm thankful for the new Pro Tools setup, unless of course you had a hand in the new Pro Tools setup.
I will play this game.
Okay.
And the only reason I will play this game is
there's not a condition now.
No.
Okay.
The only reason I'll play this game is because how would I know I like or dislike sushi if I've never tried it?
Yes, green eggs and ham.
So I will play this game.
Good.
And if I give up,
no,
you cannot.
No,
there's no condition.
We're just going to play this game.
My friend, if I give up,
we're just going to play this game. It's a game.
I'll do it.
Try or try not.
I'm done.
Do not. There is no try.
I'm finished. Do I get a prize?
Yes.
Wait, you already did it?
Yeah.
Well, that's because you show up everywhere with a pad and a pen. It's not fair, Lauren. I showed up with an iPhone and
being grateful.
Pants.
A lot of people are going to come to this event, and they're going to have all different backgrounds, all different problems, all different looking for different solutions, all kinds of things. So, what kinds of things are going to be at this? What kinds of things are you guys going to be hosting that are going to help people with different kinds of problems and or looking for different answers?
Well, like I said, there's all of the presenters come from a variety of backgrounds, and one of the presenters right here, Marty Wolf, is Marty. Why don't you tell us about what you're going to be doing?
Marty, why don't you talk? And,
isn't it funny that the guy with his own radio show?
Welcome to the party, Marty.
This is actually relaxing to me. I don't have to ask any questions. I can just
be yourself.
Just kind of
take your shoes off.
I'm
carpeted floors.
Myself when I'm on the radio.
Yeah.
Well, again, Rich asked me get involved with this, and I just immediately was connected to this guy because he's so genuine. So that's one of the reasons why I said yes right away. I mean, I'm going to come at it. Anything that I do is kind of a combination of inspiration and implementation. Again, I come at it from a business standpoint. So what I'm going to talk about, and when I do speak to groups, I frame everything in the word respect. So I get people to get that in their head, And then from there, I say, well, what does R mean? Does R mean to you? And then I go through there, and I'll make recommendations. And that will change depending on the group that I'm with. If I'm in a sales organization, the R might stand for referrals. Okay. If this group, it might turn out to be, well, how about relationships? But I will come at it from a, pardon me?
Good choice.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly right. So, but everything in terms of my presentation at Rich's resolutions will be based on the word respect, and I'll just elicit some discussion around that, and hopefully there'll be some solid takeaway from that. Was that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
A+.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
John, what's your involvement?
Somebody told me about it.
No, the
I can't wait to
MCR
watch the video because you're going to be like the kid who's like last pick for kickball. You're just sitting there like this, just like, oh.
I wasn't good at
I've been
kickball
watching you the
either.
whole time, man. Body language is important. I've been eyeing you up, not in that way, but
Well, you've
in
been like
way.
a jackhammer, so it's like, okay.
Well, that's because
So,
that's because of the
but-
coffee.
No,
Am I back to my A game yet?
no,
or is
we,
it still B?
You're getting you're getting
good.
there.
Okay.
Rich is helping you through this.
Okay, good.
so
Positivity.
the company, MCR, is sponsoring his event. So we're going to take care of like a lot of production aspects and things for it. I mean, Rich has been a good friend of mine for quite a few years now. And when he presented the opportunity for it, I just said, I'm like, whatever I can give you for the day to make the event a success, we'd be more happy to donate and just do whatever. So
Now I'm gonna go to the event,
okay,
right?
I'm going to go to the
Which. So coming to you,
Mhm.
looking at you right now
Mhm.
in your beautiful Persian eyes.
That's correct.
Okay, I got it right. Okay,
You got it.
Good, because there was like a question mark above that word.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Can I? San Diego.
San Diego, which means
Can I? Can I?
whale's vagina.
Can I just say? It really does. Wikipedia.
Never saw that?
What you do? So I don't have the experience of interacting with Marty or Rich because I haven't been fortunate enough to take advantage of it yet. But September
Keyword,
25th,
yeah.
I will. See, I'm doing
When?
the positivity thing.
January 25th.
For some reason, ever since I was a kid, right? I think that January is the beginning of the school. Like when after winter break, I think it's like summer break and I'm back to September.
Oh wow.
Is that crazy?
It's a little weird.
So January.
Maybe you should book something for September 25th too.
Yeah, John,
You know?
you available that day too?
Something else he needs to
I
work
don't know.
on too. Jeez.
All right, so just sorry. You know where I was going with it though.
Sure.
January,
What you
September,
guys,
yeah.
what you do, and what I watched you build
All right.
MCR,
Uh-huh.
and I just want to say, as a friend,
Mhm.
I don't know for colleagues.
Maybe kind of a colleague. Yeah.
Okay, congratulations, and you do a really good job
Thank you.
of what you do. I still don't think that you truly know what you do yet, but you do a damn good job. So I just
Thank you.
wanted to say that.
I appreciate it.
And you have your hands in a lot of cookie jars.
Well, this
So
and this
I don't
is
know how you
a
balance
It's
it.
not with
this has got to be a very different event for you too, because I mean a lot of the events that I've seen that you've done are concerts and things like that. So how do you approach something like this as opposed to other productions you've done in the past?
Every event is different. I mean, I came from a background of starting to be, a concert promoter, running a music showcase, managing bands, booking bands, now tour managing one as well. But
Who?
I'm not saying any names.
Right. Queen?
I've heard of them. I'm lying.
It all goes together though. It's not, the basement is still the same. It's just the house on top of it is different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just the best way that I could give an analogy for it. I mean, this event, production wise for what he's going to need, it might just be, some physical aspects and tangible ones that we're going to come in and just design a couple things for him and call it a day. It won't be like massively difficult by any means, but it's just another cool event that we do. Obviously I do, weddings and corporates and galas and
Yeah.
themed events and bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and
I've been to a few.
what, yeah, you've one or two.
That you've.
And they say it sparkled and twinkled the whole night.
Oh,
you know? But it's it again comes back to the fact of, it's like the money aspect that you say before, you can have all the money in the world, but you can't take it with you. So, to me, this is like helping out a good friend, and money doesn't matter. Like it's the end intent for what it matters. So if it creates a positive influence and a positive ripple effect going forward, that's the kind of stuff that stands out. And that's kind of the whole, what we're talking about with the whole Scranton or Wilkes-Barre mentality sometimes is some people are focusing too much on the negative aspects of things. And, sometimes you have to create more than you destroy.
I remember my 2 Scranton things I was going to tell you now.
Shoot.
Okay. I heard two different things about Scranton that I thought were apropos. I probably told Lauren and Rich this, and probably Jimmy too. The one thing they said was if everybody from Scranton woke up tomorrow and the streets were covered in horse shit, people would just buy taller boots.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I heard somebody say when the world ends, Scranton still has 10 more years.
That's really funny.
So, but I mean, like we talked about this in a podcast before, like the thing about like our area is that, it's kind of like we can talk shit on it, but if anybody else does, like we take offense to it. You know what I mean? So like when those articles come out and they say, oh, it's the most miserable city or whatever, like I think like deep down in our heart of hearts as residents of this area, like we kind of take offense to that because I don't think we truly believe that. Even though like, if you and I talk, we're like, oh, today's just, it snowed. And you know what I mean? I think there's an unspoken pride in this area that doesn't get talked about enough. You know what I mean?
There's a big pride here. And you got to keep in mind too, that like your actions and your decisions are going to lead to your own destined outcome. So which way do you want to, choose for? Like, quite honestly, if somebody's miserable and they feel they haven't achieved anything, or,
Thanks for looking at me when you said that.
No, I mean, like,
jerk of the world.
You have to keep in mind that, like, you better your own surroundings, or you're going to destroy them. Mm-hmm. It's one or the other. Scranton is old. Scranton has. Everybody always talks about anthracite, but if you actually read back into the history, Scranton was a huge steel and iron, bigger than Bethlehem at one point. Like this was New York City, like 300,000 people living around here. And it's just that the industry collapsed. So everybody kind of looks at it like right now, like as the Uzbekistan of the United States, because it's just honestly, like it's gone through its rough times. Like this is a dark gray place to live. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just
a color.
It's just
a shade.
It's just the climate. Like, listen, it's beautiful in the fall. And we have 2 seasons. We have leaves and we have sticks. And that's just being honest. It's 6 months of sticks and 6 months of leaves around here. And it's fine. There's great things that come out of here though. And quite honestly, I don't care what anybody says. It's not New York City. You can make it in Scranton. You can make it in freaking anywhere. And that's the honest to God truth, because there is economic depression here, but just like anywhere else, it doesn't just exist in Scranton. It exists everywhere.
It's not unique to here.
It's not. And everybody just says, this is a crap place to live. Like, you know what? Like, it's going to be a crap place to live wherever you go, because that's what you're just going to make out of it.
Right.
You know, and that's it. Bottom line. There are beautiful things around here, and there's great things to do that we take for granted on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. But you would do that in any natural surrounding if you live there.
That's like saying that you can only be happy in a certain area. Like, why can't people create a successful, prosperous,
you hear people say that all the time. Like, I got to get out of this area.
Right.
No, you don't.
Right. Because they are defining.
Because they think that the environment's going to change their personality.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's one of the goals of events like this, is to say you can have, like, if you don't want to be here anymore, then leave. But if you're going to be here, why not make it an awesome place? Why not make it a prosperous, successful, happy environment by putting on good events, by helping local businesses to prosper, by putting on, great concerts and things like that, by having like open mics and art shows and making, cultural videos, or having like a film. There's like community film groups, and there's tons of shows going on and community festivals and things like that. So go out and support these events. Go out and shop local and help these mom and pop businesses to bring in that money. So spend it at a mom and pop place instead of a big chain store. Or, go out and on a Friday night, go to a yoga studio or go to a cultural experience, or eat out and enjoy good company and good conversation, as opposed to sitting at home watching Netflix for the umpteenth time. Are
you in my house?
Yes. No, but there are.
I'm always there.
There are so many good things to do, and so people should take advantage of these opportunities and make it an enjoyable place.
Yeah.
Going out and socializing and meeting people. How
about just saying hi to a stranger?
How about that?
I got into an awesome conversation in a parking lot of one of the local supermarkets with a man named Chester. And Chester, if you're listening, I'm sorry I didn't meet you at that place that you mentioned, but I actually had to get my groceries home. No, he invited me to mass, actually, which was
that's really sweet.
A really, really random, kind gesture. But we got into a great conversation on New Year's Eve.
But that kind of goes to show you a little bit, though, is that society has taken it is very funny when it comes. Human beings are very funny in general, because we're not taught right now to trust each other. We're taught to not trust each other.
I agree with that.
Like you just can't be nice to somebody on the street, like
because they think you're up to something.
Well, listen, like I was in.
How's your day? What do you want?
I was in Old Forge 2 weeks ago, outside of Ravello's. I was going to pick up pizza and take it down to my father in Virginia, and my wife
you
called
do
it
that delivery that far.
Well, they don't have that kind of stuff. You ever have pizza in Virginia? It's not good.
No.
So, my wife had called it in, and she's like, let's take some down or whatever. And I was walking down the street, and they had 2 Christmas trees outside. And one was standing up, and the other one had been knocked over by the wind. It was just laying there in the middle of the sidewalk. And I watched like 10 people just look at it and just walk past. And I just stopped and picked up the tree and, made sure the base was secure. And I walked in, I said, your tree fell down. They're like, oh, it keeps falling down. So I'm like, well, I put it back up or whatever. And, there was a sandbag over there and just moved it in front of the tree. Like, just do stuff like that. Like, what happened to like people like doing something nice for no reason whatsoever? None. Like,
I don't know. I'm waiting for you to give me the answer.
Well, I can't give you the answer because you have to be the answer.
Boom. That's it.
Like,
you just answered it. Be the answer.
There you go.
That was Gandhi-like.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
That
There you
was
go. That's exactly right. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
You're
like,
you're a prophetic plagiarizer.
but I'm not Indian.
Just think about
really very accurate though.
Yes.
Very accurate.
Just think about if everyone went out on, what do they call it? Small shop Saturdays, small Saturdays, and you went out and decided I'm going to buy Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, whatever. I'm going to choose to support a local shop instead.
Right.
What if you're walking down the street and you choose to be nice to someone and just say, hey, how you doing? If you choose to have a nice conversation with someone, what if you choose to support an open mic night that's helping artists that want to come up? Okay.
Tuesdays at the Woodlands.
So now everyone in this room chose to do that. Okay. What if you had a profound effect on someone else because they were that person you spoke to, or they were that small business owner, and they were inspired by that, and then they in turn did it, like pay it forward kind of
Right.
thing.
I was just going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what if this is crazy now? So I'm going to blow your mind.
Finally, we've hit crazy.
What if all 6 of us and 7 decided
He's the
to do
seventh
that?
samurai.
And what if the people watching said, I'm going to try this too? And then they went and did something nice for someone and supported a local business and attended a conference, attended an open mic, attended a show, supported a local business. And then the people that felt that, then they went and supported, or they went and attended an event, or they went and said something nice. And then it went out even further, and then even further. Could you imagine what would happen in NEPA if people just decided to do something nice only because they wanted to, and not said, well, I'm only going to do it if someone else does it first? You be that answer. You do it first, and then just do it again, and then do it again. And then it's going to catch. But if you sit there and say, well, I'm not going to do it until someone else does it first.
It's what the mob mentality.
And if everyone says that, then everyone's going to stand there with their hands in their pockets. I'm not going to talk to that person because they didn't talk to me. Okay, cool. So you go talk to them. So big deal. Just go talk to them real quick.
January 25th.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to be there. Is it all day?
All day. 10 till 7.
Holy moly.
With an after party at Marty's house.
Been there. It's a great pad.
He knows where to go, and
There
he'll
will
set up the lighting and everything.
there will be
John's for the
nuggets
lighting.
and pickles afterwards.
It'll be,
I like pickles.
and then Marty will send me the bill.
That's and that's the biggest challenge with NEPA scene in general, just because really I could just easily try to do what the other media has done around here and create another boring format media company that puts out the same types of articles that you see, the same types of videos, but really from the beginning the mission has always been to make the area better and to show through positivity that all these great things are going on, and take that positive attitude and keep paying it forward all the time. And it's reflected in our columnists. Rich writes a column called Strength and Focus that comes out every Monday. It's reflected in the way that we approach our interviews, whether it be a band or a theater group or whoever. We try to take that and constantly help people out and do things that reach out to the people that don't normally get a story, or that the other media says, well, they're not good enough for a story, they're not interesting enough. Well, let's find out what is interesting about them and turn that around. It's getting people to pay that back. That's the tough part, and that's where the business end of it comes in. That's where my biggest struggle is, because I've gotten people on board with the mission and gotten people on board with the content, and people love what we do, and the positive energy has been amazing. I've gotten more of a response from this than I ever did in 5 years of corporate journalism. But the other side of it is then, some people will take advantage, and some people's, for example, we put up, photo galleries from very, very talented photographers every week.
Who do it
and
for
then
free.
People who do it for free because they believe in the mission and they believe in what we're doing. That eventually, once we get to a level where everybody can get paid, then wonderful. But right now we have a lot of volunteers that help out. And those images will get immediately taken by people and then reused for whatever they want to use them for, and they give us no credit whatsoever and whatever. And my approach to it has always been, hey, please, feel free to take our images. In fact, I will link you to the high resolution versions, and you can have them and put them on your website and do whatever you want with them. But give us photo credit. Just link back. If you're posting it on Facebook so all your friends can see it and making your profile picture, just tag NEPA Scene. So then they go, oh, what's NEPA Scene? So really, that's the only way you have to pay it forward. We're not asking for some sort of payment where I'm not going to come and hit you with a bill. That's not where, and I don't go after the artists for money. I don't think there is money in that, because most artists like myself are broke and they can't afford that, so we're there just to help them. And, we're going to the businesses to hopefully get advertising and support the site. So, our aspect of it that's tough is getting some people. Some people are all on board and for that mission, and then other people are they don't see the forest for the trees. They don't understand that there's something bigger there, or they're stuck in their clique. And that's really the reason I chose the name, and the reason that we have all these different kinds of sections on the site with all different kinds of artists, is because I feel like they're all separated. They're not working together, and that's why an event like this is great, because you have different people from different backgrounds coming together and helping each other for a greater goal. And that's really what I'm trying to do with the site, is bring people from different backgrounds who have different expertise. The things that you talk about in your column are things I never would have thought to write about or could write about from a substantial point of view. So it's nice to have, you come in and deliver that for readers who, want something different or are going to see things from a different perspective. I appreciate that aspect of it.
Thank you. And real, if I can compliment you, and this is going back to a conversation, you'll probably remember that one day I called you up, and it was when I asked if NEPA Scene wanted to be involved, and you and I had like an hour and a half conversation.
Right.
Here's something that I've always lived my life by, and I think it describes what you were getting at. So maybe if I can label that real quick.
Sure.
When I was in Scouts, all right, our family's a big scouting family. So Boy Scouting all the way, Cub Scouting all the way up to Boy Scouting. We always had the saying, lead by example. And that's the way that I've chosen to live my life, is that I'm just going to do what I know is right and what I believe in, just like you're doing with NEPA Scene. You said you didn't want to write the same mundane articles and the same, doing it the same way everyone else is doing it. You had a belief, you had an idea and a vision, and you said, I'm going to do it the way that I know that it should be done. And you're leading by example. And I know you said, without calling any names, that you've noticed some people copycatting, and that's because they are starting to see, son of a
bitch.
Thank you.
You can say it on TV now.
Oh, I wasn't sure. But
we're not on ABC.
If that should be taken in any way, like, no one wants to be copycatted, but it's got to be some kind of weird pat on the back that they're obviously respecting what you're doing, and that they're modeling themselves after what you tried to show them. And then you said, hey, screw it, I'm just going to do it the way it is. Started NEPA Scene, lead by example. And now people who are in a seemingly higher position, or at least they're getting paid to do that, are looking at someone who's doing it for the love and the passion, and they're saying, what did he just do? Okay, we're going to do that too. What did he just do? Okay, we're going to,
Right.
So they're doing what you're doing. I mean, I'm sure Marty's going to back me up, and John, like, it's a short amount of time. I really believe this. And this is why I wanted to write for the NEPA Scene. Like, I think you're going to see awesome results very soon. And sponsors, if you're watching
or listening,
like, this is something to get down on. This is something to invest in, because you're investing in yourself. And this is like the NEPA Scene. Like, I believe, because it's not just columns. And you and I talked about this, in that the print, like a magazine, newspaper, is visual. You know, I mean, and if someone is more auditory, if they're more kinesthetic, they're not going to, we all know those people that say, oh, well, I can't read books. I have to listen to the audio I have to listen to the audiobooks. But having like a podcast and having a YouTube video, you're now appealing to those people. And there are very few, if any, other sources of media in the area that are doing it the way that you're doing it.
Or at all.
Right.
I don't know of anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm in media.
Right. There you go.
I don't know if part of my life is in media. I don't know of anyone who's doing what you're doing and doing it in such a superb fashion.
Well,
Right.
thank you.
It absolutely will light up.
Absolutely.
Keep talking to people, you know, like Rich, and having the columns and keep putting it out there. I know whenever I see something, I share it. I'm trying to pay it forward. I think you're unique in what you're doing, and I compliment you. And just keep putting one foot in front of the other and asking for help, bringing people on, and just keep moving forward, man.
And that's been our philosophy, is like you said, the kind of the hybrid of all the different types of media and bringing them together really reflects the mission of bringing people together. It's trying not to get discouraged by the people who are going to sit on comment boards all day and
You're
complain
gonna
about
have
how
that,
much
man.
Scranton is awful.
Screw all those people.
You have to ignore it.
Don't pay him any mind.
Because it's funny because I've seen more positivity out of this, because you if you want to take it a step further and make the argument, most media in general profits off of people's misery.
Absolutely.
They profit off of bad news and bad things going on and nailing that over and over and over again into your head until you're just like, the whole world is screwed, and everything sucks around here. And I'm so tired of that mentality, and I think we need to take the opposite approach.
Absolutely.
And part of the reason, I don't want to get too deep here either, but
Get deep.
Get deep.
I don't want to get, because I'm not going to do a great job of explaining this. But part of the reason our region is the way it is because we just have a lack of entrepreneurship. There's few people with that vision. There's reasons for that. There's high percentage of Lackawanna County is government jobs. I have nothing against government jobs. I wish I had one a lot of times.
Right?
But that is not, that is good. And that supplies that will take care of commerce to a certain level. But wealth and growth and arts and entertainment and fulfillment and purpose comes from what you're doing, comes from entrepreneurship. Don't think that building a business is not art. It is art. Trust me. It's creative. It's creativity. You don't sit there and just draw. It takes a lot of work and a lot of creativity and help and all the kind of things that you see. No different if you're creating a video. So the more things like what you're doing and featuring guys like him and everything else that you're doing is going to feed that. And that's feeding, I'll use the word entrepreneurship. It's feeding people who are thinking, on their own, but yet being part of the group. Did that all make sense?
The Atlantic, I think it was The Atlantic, just ran an article about one of the largest problems with liberal arts educations right now, specifically higher educations, 4-year college degrees, is that they do not teach entrepreneurship, and those colleges that do a lousy job of it.
That was my go.
The problem doesn't exist with the colleges. The problems are that the colleges are after. The high schools don't teach you anything about entrepreneurship. I said before, and I'll say it again. You are taught things in high school that you have to unlearn when you get to college. You are taught in 3rd grade that Columbus discovered America. You are taught in college that he was a butcher. You are taught in high school how to balance a checkbook. You are not taught how to put money in that bank and how the economic system works, along with taxes and how stocks work and things of that nature. The education system is set up to be Prussian education. It is to create worker bees. It is not taught to make a person be self-aware of being their own boss. You are taught in high school to get good grades and be obedient and move forward and to work for somebody else, not to work for yourself. So it starts even further back before college.
but the college system before a lot of the changes that happened in the mid 30s to 40s. No, I'm going to go with the 40s to 50s. A lot of the changes in the liberal arts college situation changed after World War II and between that and the next war. A lot of it was the Socratic method. The Socratic method being people asking a question right back, and the discourse continuing without ever reaching an actual answer. But it was always pushing the question further until you reach a satisfactory conclusion.
Or your back hurts.
Essentially. Lawyers didn't have to go to college to pass the bar. You would teach yourself what the law was and then take the bar, and you became a lawyer. It was a different way of learning. We've standardized a lot of our education system for the purpose of churning out a certain
you're
type.
You're agreeing with John.
Yeah, I am.
And I'm agreeing also.
Right. We're all saying essentially.
We're soldiers. So that makes it all the more difficult in our region, especially. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say especially because of the cultural background to break out of that. So we need people like you guys, Rich, and the thing that Rich is doing, what you're doing. You need to, and we need to support each other.
Right.
So that we're just not mass producing something.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
we need to be creative.
It's to take a chance, and it's to be willing to say Geronimo.
Right. Okay, but let's just stay with. It's a lot of. How many parents encourage their children to take a chance?
Not many.
Not many.
No.
Not many. And in a region in regions that are based the way ours is, not many. You're told, and you're still taught. I think, Lauren, you'll agree with me. I'll ask for your support on it. You're pretty much still taught, whether it's right or wrong. John, go to school, get a degree, get a good job, and try to last as long as you can there. Mm-hmm. It's still that way, is it not?
It's gotten worse, in my opinion. It's gotten far worse.
Well, it could be.
It's
could
more,
be right.
More control, and maybe I just come from a different mentality because, not to sound like over personal by any means, but like I was born in 1980, and my family had nothing. I came from nothing, and when I mean nothing, I mean nothing. Like welfare. Grew up in, a small trailer out in Susquehanna County, and I had a different mentality. When you have nothing, you appreciate everything. And, I was taught, my grandfather was my mentor, and I saw a lot of really messed up stuff when I was a kid. And I never wanted to go back to that or actually not even myself, but like if I had my own family, I wouldn't want them to go through that. Not that I would want to spoil them, because I don't believe in that either, because I believe when you spoil a kid, it's like the Willy Wonka thing. You don't appreciate anything whatsoever, so but it's true.
No, whenever anybody says Willy Wonka, I just think Augustus.
But it's like we need more fighters, and we need more fighters for a positive difference. And we don't, but you need followers too. And the followers need to follow the fighter, because quite honestly, loyalty is another big thing too, because if you believe in something positive and you see that somebody is being positive, those fighters will follow you into the fire and brimstone. I'd rather spend my entire life being a fighter and losing everything to make a difference, rather than being somebody that is complacent and has accomplished nothing.
Mm-hmm. I want to be like all of you.
Now, to be fair, I'm not saying that a college education's for everyone. I find it odd that we shuffle everyone in high school towards that sort of thing, especially considering that America was built on a lot of trades. And for some reason, we don't focus on getting everybody to the specific kind of vocation that they're supposed to be in. I think that's kind of a shame that we are pigeonholing everyone into a 4-year college degree when our economy doesn't really need that.
In my media life, I interview top people in industries and in their professions. And the high majority of them do not have college degrees. Not saying that's good or bad one way or another. I think it's great. I wish I finished school. I didn't finish school. Mm-hmm. But maybe if I did, I'd be boring the crap out of myself by having some corporate job, you know?
I mean,
so it's maybe a blessing, but we're getting really heavy here. But this is really good, great discussion.
When you said before that people don't think with thinking like an entrepreneur, is it also safe to say that they're not taught how to think? Because
that's probably part of it. Again, it goes back to Lawrence said, you know, we're delivering more soldiers, and John said that too. You know, we're delivering more soldiers. We need more rebels. Mm-hmm. You know, fighters, whatever we're doing.
Because that is what is going to defeat the Sith and the Empire and the dark side of the Force. Right?
That's really what we've been building to the whole time. This whole podcast is actually just a metaphor for Star Wars. Right. That's really all it is. Star Wars. We're not making a Star Wars metaphor. This whole thing is the metaphor for Star Wars.
Intergalactic Civil War.
We're encouraging the return of Jedi class.
11 months, man.
Absolutely.
Force Awakens.
Absolutely.
It better be good. Please, JJ. Please let it be good.
No lens flares and just keep with the canon.
The original,
not
original
the prequels,
canon.
Not the prequels.
Yes, please. So, well, I think that's a good place to end it. Really,
I got my mojo back.
Yay!
The funk is over. I brought Star Wars back.
How Mark got his groove back is going to be the episode title,
starring Angela Bassett. Don't laugh at anything I say anymore.
So really, I take away from this that we want to bring people together. Especially for events like this. So please come out and support Resolutions on January 25th and more events like it. You're going to see, people like us are going to continue to push the limits and try and figure out, how to get people off of their asses and, into a concert venue, a conference, whatever it is. We want people to come out, and that's the only way we're going to change things. We're going to make the area better. Now, Rich, you can send Mark the bill to 703 North Washington Avenue in Scranton, rear 18509.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Rich.
You're welcome.
Get people's
zeros
fingers in the mail.
Zeros and commas. Just so you know, heads up. And
what
also
the
too.
hell does that mean?
Well, zeros
Binary.
and commas, like commas.
That's zeros and ones.
Well, no, like the comma.
Wait, did I just outsmart Lauren?
No.
No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
no, that didn't happen.
We'll talk later.
It's all off. You're all off.
All right.
And absolutely, like,
Zero.
use this, like, go out and support this event and other great events. And if you're inspired to do something, then go out and do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, if there should be more people saying, I'm going to start that business. I'm going to start this idea. I have this idea. Here's what I need to do. Or finding someone, like, if someone wants a business and you may not have had a business class in college or may not read those business books, go out and find a coach. Or if you want to produce a premium
a lot of cake, talk to Rich.
event, yeah.
Sadly at home watching
If you want to
Netflix.
produce like a premium event and you don't know what to do, seek someone out. If you have that vision, just go out and do it. Don't sit on the couch. Go and do something positive. Do something.
And that's the other thing that people should take away from this too. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes. Oh,
That's so important, man.
please say it
Absolutely.
again.
Come to guys like these, and come to NEPA Scene. That's what I've been telling people from day one. I can help you, and I can do all of these services for you for free because you're an artist, and I want to help you, and I believe in the scene. But you have to come to me and do it. You can't just try to keep doing it the same way over and over and expect different results.
When you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Anthony Robbins. Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, so if you need some life coaching, like Marky here obviously did him wonders, come to Rich.
I'm a work in progress.
If you want to put on a premium event, come to John Phillips, and if you need some business coaching, come to Marty Wolf. And
if you need somebody to watch Netflix with and eat chocolate cake, you come to me.
and Spoon.
And if anybody wants to play Civilizations 5,
Come to if you really want to know what it's like to feel all alone, go play Civilization with Lauren.
no, we can play multiplayer online.
Oh man, bless your hearts.
Well,
guys,
positive
thank you.
reinforcement.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It was a
And
blast.
I know that on January 26th, I'm gonna wake up.
25th.
Yeah,
No, the next morning.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna feel great.
Oh man, I had that all in my head planned.
You were,
man,
you
I'm
were going to
sorry.
close strong.
I was going for it. It was the grand finale, and you're like, no,
Well, if you want, we can cut that out. We can do what no one's ever done before.
We're like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood here, man. We keep our mistakes in, even me.
Well, I want to hear it though.
No,
Start
we're gonna
all
keep
over
it, man.
again.
We're gonna keep it.
Deliver it.
Yeah, it's gonna be delivered.
Deliver it. Go.
Oh, okay. I know that on January 26th, I'm going to wake up a totally new person. And it's going to be thanks to you three guys. Mostly, John's like the cologne of it, but it's going to be really good.
I'm like the brute
Yeah. The cologne of
on
criminals.
sale.
But no, seriously, thank you guys. And you know, if you ever want to record my implosion of talking to you again, I'd happily do it because I don't regret it. So,
Thank you.
Stop looking at me like that. Why do you always
I
look
was
at me
trying
like
to figure out if you meant cologne the city or cologne the type of perfume.
Why would I ever go international on my metaphors?
Oh.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
All right.
Jimmy. Okay.